All right, we are back on Morning Line. She's wetting her whistle. She's our special guest this morning, and we're going to be talking about the Strobel Awards.
Yes.
Something I can't believe. The 30th anniversary of the Strobel Awards this year, happening today. She is Tara Tenario. She's with Hands On Nashville. Hello.
Good morning, Nick.
Nice of you to come on. It's nice to see you. Now, a lot of people know about Hands On Nashville. Maybe not so many people, even though it's been around for 3 decades, know about the Strobel Awards. But do you want to talk a bit about that? What's happening today?
Yes, let's chat.
Yes.
So, the Strobel Awards is a really fun event. It's a really special event for Hands On Nashville, and it is named after Mary Catherine Strobel.
Okay.
She is a native Nashvilleian and has a beautiful family, 4 children, one of which is pretty known in our community. It's just Charlie Strobel, who founded Room in the Inn. But he was inspired by his mother to begin his own life of service. She was, you know, it's a funny thing about talking about Mary Catherine's life. She was a community volunteer in how we think about volunteerism today, but her very sweet and humble family will tell you that she just thought she was helping people out. Mm-hmm. So she would have food in the back of her trunk in case there was somebody who needed just something to eat or a coat to wear. Mm-hmm. And so she really was committed to that life of service. Mm. So she, unfortunately, she passed away tragically. And after her death, the family was approached about creating these awards to carry on her legacy and really celebrate that life of service that she'd lived.
To recognize those who kind of tried to live to her ideals.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so 30 years later, the awards recognize 6 different categories of service. So 3 categories for direct service, folks who are reaching out and touching folks. Mm-hmm. And that's in 3 different age groups. So 5 to 20, we have so many volunteers that are super young.
Even 5-year-olds, 5, 6, 7, 8,
little baby
yeah,
kids
right.
Who are doing great things. And then we have 21 to 49 and then a 50-plus award, which I will tell you is our most popular category every year.
50-plus?
Yes.
What do you mean popular? Meaning the most?
The most nominees come in for that category. Huh. And the stories of service are pretty incredible. I think what we have found is that folks want to continue doing great things after they retire and have some more time on their hands, and this is a way to either continue that career path unofficially through their volunteer service, or just take a complete left turn. And you know, if you've been a doctor or a lawyer for a long time, then you can start working with kids in an after-school program. Just any opportunity to give back in a meaningful way.
I would think it as a great way for seniors to fill time after they retire.
Absolutely.
Okay, but yeah, if you would, you just mentioned one about maybe working with kids in an after-school program. What are some of the other types of things some of these nominees do?
Absolutely. So I will tell you one of my favorite stories that I have heard this year, and it really speaks to what we were just talking about with Mary Catherine. Volunteerism is really just one person helping another person. Okay. And one of our volunteers works at a live hospice, as she serves at a live hospice. Mm-hmm. And she was saying that one of her patients was an Auschwitz survivor. Mm. And that the one thing that she really wanted was for her to hang her sheets out on a laundry line as opposed to putting them in a dryer, that she had always done her sheets that way, and that was her one request that she would make. It's
always
just
her sheets for her bed to be hung out. Which, by the way, if it's nice out and it's the way to do it, it smells good.
It does.
Yeah. And so, but she couldn't do it herself.
She
obviously.
could not. So a live hospice is, of course, a hospice program. People are in their final stages of life.
Yes, of course. But this woman then goes and hangs this woman's sheets?
She does.
Every week?
It depends really from volunteer to volunteer, but...
See, that's a great example of just a little thing that means the world to this woman, one-on-one, right?
Right.
And she can make a difference just herself.
It was things like that, and it's things like, she said, truly, sitting there and holding somebody's hand. You're not, when you're in that hospice situation, you're not necessarily going to have family that can offer you 24-hour care. Mm-hmm. And so somebody just to sit there and hold your hand. I mean, that's a great way to spend the day.
You know, it's interesting. The people who do things like this, and obviously those folks, they're all volunteers, right?
Absolutely.
That do this type of thing. they're like the last people that are going to give a hoot about an award.
Correct.
Which is interesting, and I understand.
Correct.
But I mean, what about that? I bet you some of them are like, what, I've been nominated, or what, I'm going to get an award, thank you, but you know, I don't need an award. That's not why I'm doing this.
Well, and it's
I mean,
so,
what's the thinking then?
It is so funny that you say that, because the Strobel family, their children are very, like I said, super humble individuals. And they made the comment to us, our mom would not have known what to do with having an award named after her.
Yeah.
And
it's neat to honor her. I totally
absolutely
understand that. But then what about the recipients, you know, when they...
what we try, and so the way that the process works is that our nonprofit community or our business community will lift up either a volunteer or volunteer group. So it falls to that agency who's received the services of that volunteer to then celebrate them and submit their story.
Okay.
So it's a nomination process. And then we do lots of communications on the front end to make sure that they know that this is a celebration for them, and also that it's really a call to action. So it's an opportunity for us to gather in the same space as a community of volunteers to recognize the great things that have been done, and also to remember that there is still lots to do.
Okay.
And so I think when you frame it that way, people start to get a little bit more comfortable with that idea. We have done interview after interview with volunteers saying, this is a way of life for me.
Right.
This is not about recognition. It is about truly having that opportunity to do good in the world. Something that when you start to ask people, well, why do you serve? You will hear them say, well, my grandma, you know, my grandma was the Mary Catherine Strobel type. She was, you know, handing out food to hungry, or, you know, walking the elderly lady's dog, you know, just little tiny stuff that is hugely impactful.
I think it's great, and I think the idea is also to get the word out, as you said. You see what these people are doing. You're going to get media for it. You're doing this here. I assume we're going to have probably a crew there. I assume it's open to the public, right? No?
It's a ticketed event. It is open to the public.
But I mean for the media. I mean,
Sure,
we're going to probably
absolutely.
cover the winner. But I'm just saying, from that perspective, the people might recognize, you know, if I'm being honored and it gets the word out, and maybe I inspire someone else, that's worth it.
Right.
You know?
And I think the great thing about this, about volunteerism, and specifically to pat my agency on the back, Hands on Nashville, we have an online opportunity calendar, and it makes service so accessible to folks. You can go online, put in your day, your time, your interest area, and it'll populate a list of results, and you just sign up right then and there. You can essentially
That's pretty
shop
neat. You know,
for your project.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't realize that. Now, I've done some things through the station with Hands on Nashville.
Sure.
Where we go and painted
Absolutely. They're a
schools
great partner of
or
ours.
different, you know, I mean, and it's neat. But someone, you know, if they're thinking, I'm busy, but I've got these times open, they can go on to the Hands on Nashville website
Absolutely.
and then take a look and see what matches their time.
Yes.
And maybe they get involved that way.
And I think
great.
you either go in singularly focused and think, I really want to give back to kids, or you're like, I just want to do something, and you can shop all of the different projects and realize that truly there are opportunities to go walk dogs if you want to do that, or mentor kids, or sit with someone in hospice. So
and hang their sheets.
Absolutely.
I think it's a cool story. All right, so listen, just want to say, we're expecting about, 600 people or so maybe showing up today at the Music City Center downtown, right? It starts at 11, does it?
11. Doors will open at 11. The event starts at 11:30. I get to spend my day with Channel 5.
Lucky you.
I know. Rory Johnson's going to be our MC for many, many years in a row. He's done that
awesome.
for us.
So
Yeah,
he'll
it'll
be there,
great.
part of that, and I know we'll be there. I know, to cover this, and we're also going to have a performance by the Tennessee School for the Blind Choir.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the shifts this year, we have always invited our nominees to come, but it is an award ceremony, and so the spotlight really gets focused on the finalists for the day. And so the Tennessee School for the Blind is going to open with a performance about service, and all of our nominees are going to join us on stage.
Okay. There's 130 nominees, I
is.
think. And then 18 finalists. Is that how that?
Of that 130, it gets culled down to 18 finalists. So we have a group of screeners that come in and narrow it down by category, and then a final selection committee that narrows it down to the 6
I'm just
award
curious,
recipients.
by the way, what do they get? Is it
It's a plaque.
a plaque? Okay, I was thinking a plaque.
It's a
and
plaque.
that they'll hang on the wall.
Yes, and hopefully a really nice moment for them to feel all of the love in that room.
Absolutely, and the appreciation, again, like you said, that's not why they do it, but
Right.
I think feel all the love. But my big thing is, with the media and Rory being involved in Channel 5, getting the word out.
Absolutely.
And there's so, I was just thinking too while you were talking about how fast this city's growing.
Correct.
And the regions outside. That's great, brings more resources, but I think also as this population grows, we're going to see more need.
Absolutely. Well, and we talk a lot about the needs have changed.
Yeah.
So
That's too.
and you think about an incident like the flood that happened in 2010, of course, and that was a really defining moment for Nashville in terms of volunteerism. The community rose to the occasion.
We always have.
Right, and always will.
Be it the tornadoes. Well, Tara, listen, we've got to wrap it up, but thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Reminder, 30th anniversary of the awards today.
Yes,
it's
sir.
neat. Well, congrats to everyone involved with this program, and stay tuned tonight. We'll have stuff on it as well, so I'm sure we're covering it. And give Rory a bad time for me.
I always do.
Okay. Tara, thank you much. Take a break. Be back with a programming note right after this. Stay with us.